A divide in the United States of the South began to form as social and economic differences separated interests and political views of those in the South to those in the rest of America. Farming was the main occupation of those living in the South, which created more of a rural way of life. In 1790, tobacco was used as the primary cash crop, but by 1850, the demand for cotton, wheat, and corn grew during the growth of British textile industry. This led to the Cotton Kingdom, which created Southern expansion. Slavery was a large part of the Southern economy. Because farming was in high demand, slave trade increased for farm labor. New technologies such as the McCormick Reaper were less important to the South that already owned unpaid slaves. Slave codes were created that benefited farmers with runaway slaves. An example of this would be the Fugitive Slave Law, which inflicted punishment on runaway slaves who were caught. Tensions between the North and South rose during the Missouri Compromise. After Missouri was admitted as a state, it created an imbalance between the amount of slave states versus free states. The Missouri Compromise solved this imbalance by declaring Maine as a free state. This was still considered a Southern victory. Because Southerners had different economic and social characteristics, most of them had opposing views of wealthy Northerners. The South disagreed with Hamilton's policies that tried to unite the states. The Southerners were upset with his policy on paying the national debt, as most Southerners had already paid off the debt. Their dues. Many Southern planters whose slave investments left them in debt disrupted the national debt. The bank did not attract stockholders and gained very little loans from them. Hamilton also inflicted the tariff taxes, which upset Southern farmers importing goods. The South seemed to support more local and state power. For example, the Missourians created a constitution that prohibited free blacks from entering the state. This was a violation of the Constitution based on the fact that citizens of one state were entitled to the same rights as the citizens of another state.